Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to Flosstube, my Flosstube, where I am going to talk to you about cross stitch. My name is Megan. Today is January 31st, and I have 2 months to catch you up on because I think the last one that I posted was at the beginning of December, and it was like a up till that point in the year kind of wrap up. So I'm going to sort of show you what I stitched on in December and what I stitched on in January and chat about some other things. So sit back, take it easy. Here we go. I have big news, and normally I would save life updates for like at the end of the video if I give them to you at all. But this is pretty big, so I'm going to hit you with it at the very top of the video. I am moving. I am moving out of my apartment. My roommate and I have been here for almost 5 years, and it's time for a new chapter. We are not moving out together, we are moving out apart, but it's good. It's healthy for both of us. She's still staying around, like she's staying local, so that's very exciting. So she's around. But yes, I am moving, and I am moving at the very end of February, so there will not be a video next month, which is probably fine because February is my busiest work month, so I probably won't get much done, aside from the bare minimum. So do not look for me on March 1st. I won't be here. April 1st, I'll do my best. Anyway, so yes, I'm very excited. I'm excited. It's been lovely living here. I have a lot of really good memories in this place, and I love this apartment. Like the windows, everything about it is amazing. So the reason that I'm sort of filming in my bedroom for the first time in a really long time is everything is in a state of semi-packed, so it's kind of a mess. So this is sort of the cleanest shot I could get. So bear with the squeaky and the really closeness and the blinding sun in my face. But hopefully that will show my stitching nicely in the sun. Yes, so there's my news. Let's get on to stitching. My plan the last time I chatted to you in December was I was going to try and stitch my Bella Filipinas in the month of December to sort of get them all kind of caught up to where I wanted them to be for the end of the year. And I was going up to the cottage for like 2 weeks with my family for Christmas, so I was taking a couple of pieces that I am missing colors on because my mom has a full DMC set, so I needed to rate her colors. So I'll start with this one. This is a bag made by my mother. I chose the fabric. My mother and my brother gifted me with this little Evie zipper pull. In here is my Mini The Possibilities piece. This is still like my fastest moving piece because it's a mini, and I got quite a lot done in December. Well, here, let me just show you. So this is where I am. You can see the shadow of my stitching light that's right here. We'll have to just ignore that. So here's where I am. So basically this solid section is the first bottom row of pages. So those are almost completely stitched. And then really what's missing is Evie. And I'm trying to stitch Evie like one color at a time for the whole Evie, so like you can kind of see his ears are kind of outlined, his ears. So I'm pretty pleased. Like that's pretty far along. How far along is it, you might ask? Great question. Let me tell you. Bear with me. Evie is 19.17% finished. That's pretty good. I don't even know. I grinded it out. I don't even know how many stitches I stitched on. That's a lot of stitches. I'm stitching them 2/1 tent stitch. This was my first foray into tent stitching, and I do like it, but it's hard to remember to like not do the other half. So yeah, so it's coming along. Where's Evie? There we go. It's on 25 count easy grid fabric, which I do like. I don't know if I'm completely sold on pre-gridded fabric. We'll see. We'll see. Then I wanted to spend some time catching up my Bella Filipinas. So, technically I have all three sitting here, but I did not stitch on Hannan since I saw you last. She was sitting in my frame in December, and I think I did a little bit more on her. Maybe, you know what? Let me just. She's sitting right here. Let me just show you, so then you can see all of them back to back to back. Okay, so where is she? There we go. This is Hannan. I'm closer to my camera than I normally am. There she is. She's pretty, I think she's about 2/3 done. I have the bottom kind of portion of her dress to do, and the halo at the top, and then all of the beads, obviously, but I'm saving the beads to the end. So I have this chunk of her dress left, and then her halo. And then she's done, except for the beading, which I will do later. But she's pretty good. My goal for her this year is to get her completely stitched without the bead, like not considering the beads. I'd like to get her completely, can you even hear me? I'd like to get her completely stitched. That's my goal for her for the year. It's a little squishy. I'm a little squished where I am right now. Okay, so put her away. Then I stitched on the second one. Nope. Tala. Started her January 1st, 2025. That's when I started her. So this is where that's at. Obviously, I started from the bottom on her. We're going up. She's 1/3 finished. So then my goal for this year is to get her 2/3 finished, which is, I think, pretty much like, I think I'd kind of like to get most of like the rest of her dress done and maybe her wings, some of her wings at least. So I don't know, like if you think about it, right, like 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, ignoring the beading, of course. But that's my goal for her, is to get her 2/3 done. I feel like I'm talking really quietly, so if you can't hear me, I'm sorry. Normally I am quite loud, but I don't think I am this time. Sorry. Okay, and then I started the third one. It's okay. We're in shambles. It's fine. What else is new? I started the third one on January 1st of this year. Mayari. She's my favorite. I just love the coloring of her. I love, 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 love the dress. So, if you've been following along, my goal for her this year will be to have her 1/3 finished, which is basically, I'd kind of like to get like maybe this chunk of her dress done where the angel wing cuts it off. Yeah. Started her at the bottom as well. Bear with me. Oh my gosh. There she is. Yeah. So I got to stitch all that. Look at that metallic, that pink metallic. Ugh. It's so pretty. So we're chugging along. They're all stitched on 25 count Be Stitch Me Cosmos, which is the called for fabric, except the pattern calls for opalescent, and I didn't do opalescent. But look at the sparkles in the sun. It's a magpie moment. Yeah, so I'd like to get, I have goals on these. So I think my approach to this is going to be once a month, nope, every month, I'm going to pull one of them out and stitch like at least 1,000 stitches on them, I think. To try and get some progress on them all throughout the year. And then in May, some folks do Mira May. They're not Miras, but they're pretty close to Miras, with the beads and such. So in May, I'm going to stitch on all 3 of them, and then I'm just sort of going to kind of do an inventory check in November, December, and see where all 3 of them are sitting, and then if I need to just sort of focus on them again at the end of the year like I did this year, I will do that. Oof. I'm saving this for last. Okay. Let's talk about this one. This is a bag by Samply Stitched. I got it at Stitch North 2 years ago, 3 years ago, last year. I don't know. They blur together. So this is one of my favorite bags because Alice in Wonderland is my favorite. The pattern inside has nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland. Inside is my Owl Force Embroidery winter piece. It's called Snowy Winter. I am just stitching these. These are part of a set of 4, one for every season, and I don't have any goals. I'm just kind of stitching them on Wednesdays when I go over to my parents' house. So this is my Wednesday night project. So it'll get a little bit of progress, but not a lot of progress. Not as much as everything else that I'm trying to grind out. So this is where it's at. When you saw it last, pretty much everything was the way that it is, except I didn't have these red flowers yet, and I stitched these pine cones and these 2 snow flakes and this little motif there. So that's what's new. I should have realized that that shadow would be there. But hey, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, so there's my progress on Snowy Winter. This is, I don't even know what this fabric is. I hate it. It's very slippery. And I picked the same one for all 4. So whatever, it's fine. The floss is the overdyed variegated floss that Owl Forest does themselves. So it's a lot of fun to stitch with. But it can be a little bit stressful to make sure that the variegation variegates okay. Sometimes it's a challenge. I guess I could give you stitch counts for some of these. I can, actually. Whoops. Okay, sorry. Stitch counts. Mayari, the Bella Filapina, I did about 1,400 stitches on her over the course of 2 days. This one I'm stitching every Wednesday, and I have, where are you? Done about, is that really all I've done? No. I've done about 700 stitches on this month. About, roughly, which is pretty good. I wanted to try to get at least 1,000 stitches in a month. 700 is pretty good. Like I said, I don't really have any goals for this one. I'm just trying my best. It's really all I can ask of myself at this moment in time. So that's Owl Forest. Then excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I don't know how to present this information. I am part of the Full Coverage Fanatics group on Facebook, and I've never really participated in any games, cross-stitch games before, but I was looking at some of the options that Kim has on the Facebook group, and one of them is like a bingo, like a monthly bingo, where you pick one of your full coverage pieces that sort of fits into the prompts, and then like you gotta stitch either 1,000 stitches or 2,010 stitches to get that square. And I decided that January I would be able to get a bingo, stitching on only 2 projects. So I did. I got a bingo in January for Full Coverage Fanatics bingo. And most of the stitching I got done on this. This is the stitching shelf. I used this for 3 of the 5 prompts. I used it for, I don't have. Yeah, sorry. I had to do some research that I should have done beforehand. I used this for 3 of the 5 prompts in bingo, and I thought I was going to try and do a double bingo, but I ran out of time. So I technically used this for 4 prompts, but I'm just going to talk about 3. So I used this for a winter scene, because the whole bottom shelf is winter of this piece. I used this for an animal from the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac, because there's a dog in there somewhere, and that's a year. And I used this for women in her 30s, because there's a bunch of women in there, and at least one of them has to be, statistically speaking, has to be in her 30s. So I got a good 1,000 stitches done, 3,000 stitches done on the stitching shelf this month, because each, as I said, is 1,000 stitches. So this giant project is not conducive to this small space that I have to show it in. This is how much I got done. These needle minders, I swear. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, technical difficulties. That can't be good. Something's happened. Well, whatever. Okay, this is where I am. So I got, 3,000 stitches done on this upper spring shelf. So you can really see like this, like the wine bottle and the table. The picture's almost done. She's got, this is a lady right here stitching. Yeah. I'm like really happy with the progress there. All that's left, this white chunk that's here, is just purple. I've been saving purple for last because I was looking, like hardly any of this has purple. I mean, this does, but it's been a while since I stitched purple, so that's purple. I'm very excited. This one is going to be probably, like, if I decide to play bingo, it's most likely only ever going to be this piece, because there's so many things in this piece that everything kind of works. So for this one, I got 9. Hold on, let me do some math. 9, 8, 15, 23, 28. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, about 3,000 stitches done in this for the month. What percentage is it at? Great question. It is at 14.29%. That's pretty good. She's chucking. She's big, so we respect that it's going to take her some time. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to play February bingo. Like I said, February is my busiest work month, so I might not have the time to do more than the bare minimum in terms of stitching. Okay, then the last cross-stitch piece I have to show you is the 2026 HAED stitch-along piece that I chose, which is The Wise and the Brave. My goal for this was basically I have to try to do like 1,050 stitches a week. I'm doing 2 over 1 10 stitch on 25 count fabric. Yeah, so I'm really trying to get at least 1,000 stitches done a week, usually on the weekends, because that's when I have the most time to like sit down and grind. So because I'm already stitching so many thousands of stitches on this piece, I used it for 2 other prompts in Bingo. I used it for a new start, because I started it, and something that flies, because they're birds, and that gave me a bingo. Yay! Yeah. How many stitches did I do on this? 1,000 is 5. That's quite a lot. That's a lot, actually. 1,000. A lot. A lot. 1,000 stitches. Well, and I did a lot in the Christmas break. So in 3 days alone, in the first 3 days of the year, I stitched 1,200, 1,200, and 1,400 stitches. So really, I made my January quota in like 3 days, but I kept going. So I'm way ahead of schedule, which is fantastic. And I really want to try to keep that momentum going. So here it is. Look it! That's a whole page. That's 1 of 6 pages finished. If they hadn't given us the Amy Stewart piece, I would have won it. So yeah, there's a little Robin. I'm so excited. Like it goes really fast when it's 10 stitch, which was my hope. And I was correct. So yeah, look at them. Oh my god, so cute. So obviously this is the owl. So, and this is 1 more page. So I don't think I'm gonna get another page finished in February, but I'm gonna try to keep up the momentum of at least 1,000 stitches a week. Because that's, and then I still have buffer, right? Because really, half a page is really what you want per month if you want 6 pages in 12 months, but that's a full page, so I am a month ahead. Good for me. As I've been stitching this, controversial take. As I have been stitching this, and I'm obviously part of the group and watching everybody else's progress on their projects, I don't love any of the other projects. Like, the goal is to get 6 pages finished and then you get all of the charts from the stitch along. But I don't like any of the other charts. I really like, and I got the Amy Stewart chart, so like I don't really need the rest of the charts. So I'm kind of debating with myself about what I want to do, because I don't want to stitch the whole piece. Like, there's a lot of just gray and green background. I really just want to get the birds and like kind of the tree they're sitting on. Like, I would want this to be a smaller piece. If I do that, there's no way to crop it where I would still get 6 full pages of stitching done. So I'm torn, because I would like to get 6 pages done, but I also don't want to get 6 pages done. You know what I mean? Like, I want to crop it. I don't want it to be that big. So, and I don't want the rest of the patterns, so that's not an appeal anymore. And I already have the Amy Stewart chart. So I think it's only been a month. I think I'm gonna pull out of the 6-page goal, but I'm going to maintain my 1,000 stitches a week goal, because I would still like to stitch it. I don't know. There's no appeal to finishing. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Are you with me? I feel like you understand. So, yeah. I think I'm pulling out, but I'm still going to stitch it. Like, I still want to stitch it. So, 1,000 stitches still a week. but I'm going to crop it. I have to figure out like how I want to crop it, because I really just want the birds. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the progress. Although, like, so I'm stitching it 10 stitch, 2/1, 25 count. And for the first page, you can kind of even see it. For the first page, I accidentally kind of went cross country. And she's chunky and like kind of bubbly, like up in here where there's a lot of color change on the robin's forehead. It's like noticeably raised. So I've tried to go back to like my up down process, but she's chunky, and like I was a little upset about how bumpy this is right here, but it's okay. It's all right. We're gonna still keep trucking. So yeah, I'm really happy with the progress on that. That's everything I stitched on. That one's in my frame because I'm gonna stitch. I stitched on it yesterday. I did about 300 or so stitches on it yesterday. I'm gonna stitch on it today and tomorrow to get my 1,000 stitches in for the week. And then I'm gonna stitch on one of the Bellas. I don't think I'm gonna play bingo, to be honest. I could win a bingo for February, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. I don't have as much time as I did in January to stitch, so I have more exciting news that just happened yesterday, and I'm so pleased. Last year, for 2 months out of the year, I participated in the Stitches So Beautiful like monthly sale that they do on their business page, where you have to stitch on a Stitches So Beautiful charted piece. So I've been stitching on the Fantasy Owl for when it's time for that. And you have to do 250 stitches a week or 510 stitches a week, and like update your progress every week. And then if you do that, you get the free chart of the month, but you also get entered in for the draw for like the bigger, more tangible prize, I guess, of the month. Sometimes it's a cross stitch bag, sometimes it's, like whatever. Yesterday, I logged onto Facebook to I can't remember where I was on Facebook. Doesn't matter. I won the August Sal draw. I thought it was a scam at first. I was like, that's interesting, AI. Just telling you that you win things. But I did. I won the August draw, and the August prize was a free chart from Stitches So Beautiful every single month for a year. So now I really don't need those HAED charts, because I'm going to get 12 free charts from Stitches So Beautiful. I'm so happy. So obviously I was shopping yesterday, and I picked the one that I picked for January. Oh, well, let me get the name out. I was shopping for so exciting. What did I choose? What's it called? I would like the name, please. Does it tell me what the name is? Yes. Okay. I chose Magical Forest Lights for my January piece. I chose the small one. I'm gonna try, I think, to choose small ones every month, because, like, if I ever want to get them actually stitched, we're not a max color stitcher in this house. We are trying to keep it simple. So I'm super excited about that. I don't know when I'm going to start it. I do really want to start it, though. It's beautiful, and I already have one chosen for February, but I want to be extra sure, so I haven't picked it yet. But yeah, how exciting is that? So more full coverage coming your way. Yeah. So anyways, I'm really pleased about that. And that's kind of my haul for the month, as I got a free. And Valerie, what a sweetheart. When you have to email her to be like, hello, I won. And she'd be like, oh. So anyway, she was really, really nice. And I'm so excited this is going to be such a nice monthly treat for me. Amazing. Pleased. So yes, that's my other big news. I have read this month. So I'm going to talk about books and other things. So you can go away if you don't want to listen about books. Stitching is done. I blew through 2 audiobooks. First thing this month, I picked like 2 really short ones-ish. And while I was pounding out Wise and the Brave at the beginning of January, I just read, listened to 2. I listened to Dick Van Dyke's most recent book, 100 Lessons to Make It to 100, or something along those lines. I should have been more prepared for this. It's fine. What is it called? 100 Rules for Living to 100 by Dick Van Dyke. It was really good. It was really cute. I thought it was narrated by him, but it wasn't. So it was kind of disappointing, but it was still good. And then I jumped into... what's it called? I then jumped into The Last Continent by Terry Pratchett, which is a Discworld book. And it's been a long time since I've listened to a Discworld book. I freaking love the Discworld series. If you are a fantasy fan, a humor fan, a great character fan, you should read the Discworld. Listen to the Discworld series. Read them, listen to them, I don't care. Right now they're being released as audiobooks that are like full cast. So there's one primary narrator and then the same guy does the voice. Okay, so the Discworld has a couple of things. I think there's like 41 books, and I think I'm maybe about halfway through. And the Discworld has a bunch of different arcs. So like there's the Men-at-Arms, and all of those books focus on like the police force in the main city of the world. And then there's the witches, and that whole series follows witches in the same world. And then there's the Rincewind books, which Rincewind was like the first primary character that Terry Pratchett introduces in book 1. My personal favorite character is Rincewind. I love him so much. He's an old man in the books and also in the movie that was released, but like I don't envision him as an old man when I'm listening to him. I don't know. I don't know. I just like him so much. I think he's hilarious. So The Last Continent is a Rincewind book, and I was very pleased because it's been a long time since we've had a Rincewind book. And The Last Continent is the Discworld version of Australia. So the narrator gave everybody from The Last Continent an Australian accent. I'm sure it's written like that. Like, I would not be surprised if Terry Pratchett wrote it to sound like an Australian accent, but it was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And then the audiobook that I'm listening to right now is called The Assassin's Quest, which is the 3rd book in the first trilogy of the Realm of the Underlings saga by Robin Hobb. It is also very good. I really enjoy these books. They're like high fantasy, I guess. Not so much with the humor. More serious. This trilogy in the series follows Fitzchivalry, Farseer, who is the bastard son of the crown prince who's died. It's a whole thing. And I have to say, Fitzchivalry is kind of an idiot. He's not the smartest of men. And so the first 2 books in the series was very much like just him kind of bumbling around. And the 3rd one, yeah, he decides to do this thing, and the whole time he's doing the thing, I'm like, don't do this thing. Please, you being so stupid right now, don't do this thing. Do the other thing. And anyway, I was right. Should have listened to me. But it's also very good. The Realm of the Elderlings series is quite long. Like, the audiobook is 37 hours, so we're going. We're trucking. We're just taking our sweet time. But I do recommend those books as well. And then physical books. So I usually always try to have an audiobook going, and I always also try to have a book that I am reading physically. not necessarily a physical book. I do have a Kobo, but this happens to be a physical book. So the physical book that I am reading and I finished 2 nights ago, actually, is the Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, which is the third of 3 in a cozy fantasy series. Really, really good. It's written really well. I'm not a huge fairy, I don't know. I'm not a huge fairy person, and this is very much fairies, but it's Emily is an academic, so she's studying fairies, so it's not like she's getting swept into fairy courts as like some naive mortal. She's literally like, that's her job. And so everything that happens to her, she like writes down, and I really like the way that these books are written because it's her journal. It's Emily's journals about her experiences. And in those experiences, she's also talking about like the books that she's going, like the academic books that she's going to write about these experiences as she's writing them in her journal. It's a really cool way to tell the story. I really enjoyed it. So that's 3 of 3. I'm done this series. There is another series by this author that involves some cats. So that's definitely on my wish list to read when it comes out. So if you're into like cozy fantasy, romantasy, fairy kingdoms, Emily, the character of Emily is hilarious, unintentionally hilarious. These were good reads. I do recommend. But those are books. Those are all of my books. Yeah, I really think that's kind of it that I have to show you. Or talk about, or update you on. My life is going to be so busy in February. It's my busiest work month. I'll probably be working anywhere between 44 and 50 hours a week. Plus, then I have to come home and pack because I'm moving on February 28th. So I don't even know when I'm going to have time to stitch. I mean, I'll find time to stitch, but just projecting forward, I don't know when that would be. So yeah, so I won't see you on March 1st. I will do my best to see you in April in a different location. Stay tuned. I hope you guys have a lovely next couple of months. Stay warm. It's freaking cold out there. Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out.